Hello and welcome to PBTC Talking on the Couch. This week we are going to do the most stupid wars in history. Remember to check out our other channels. So we've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. We've got the Discord where you can join us and have a chat to us at discord.gg/TGS39 DNUB3. There is some capitals in there, but you can get the link from the chat. We've also got the YouTube channel, Blue Sky, and you can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, or Apple Music. I think podcasts are on those things.
Yeah.
Did you have to go to Amazon Podcast for it?
No, I'm not sure. It's probably like it's the Amazon Music app, I think.
Yeah, so
I think that it operates the same as Spotify. You see, I use Spotify, so I'm not sure.
So do I. But viewers, let us know. Let us know if you can't access it, because we will send you the link. Remember, you can also donate to us on Streamlabs at streamlabs.com/pressback to continue 3/tip. Just like the tip of Spook is PP. Right?
Yeah.
So, as I've mentioned, this week is the most stupid wars, definitely not inspired by events of this week.
No.
But we're going to do the most stupid wars that we've managed to research by Googling it once. Spooker, Are you going to start us off with the first war?
I am going to start off with a war, not necessarily the first one on the list.
Well, I don't know.
I'm going to talk about the Pig War, Loans. It happened in 1859. It was a border dispute between the US and Britain on San Juan Island. It flared up when an American farmer shot a British-owned pig eating his potatoes. It escalated into a standoff, but the only casualty was the pig.
Poor pig.
So they basically all went over and like, we're going to kill you. No, we're going to kill you. And it's like, nah, let's go home.
Well, why are they shooting the pig?
It's pretty much what happened. Because he was eating the American farmer's potatoes.
Yeah, because potatoes only grow one or two at a time, don't they?
They do, yeah.
The
proper ones do.
So instead of saying "move, you pig," he shot it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that
I'm only going to say this once, and then we'll say no more about it. But that sounds like a typical American reaction.
I was about to say that. I think this shows the mentality between America and Britain, doesn't it? Britain, we just want to eat all the potatoes. I mean, we have Ireland and England have had very many disputes over this whole potato thing.
Yep.
We know it's something that we are very close to. America, they just want to shoot the bastard eating the potatoes. I just don't understand why he went straight to shooting it.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe we're not getting the full story here. Maybe he asked him like a stack of times, "Would you get your pig out of the potato field?"
Piggy, can you stop?
No, maybe he asked the British farmer like, "Will you move your pig?" Or like, "Will you just get your pig out of my field? It's eating the potatoes. Will you get the pig out of my field?" No, that's it.
Yeah, but what I really don't get from this as well is, right, well, first of all, pigs in 1859, that would have been that man's livelihood. They wouldn't have had loads of pigs at that time. Second of all,
especially on a little island.
Just to point out to our viewers as well, this is not a war of neighbours. This escalated into a full official war, meaning a declaration must have taken place.
Yep.
So basically, at some point, politicians sat down and said, "Nope, we're going to war." A man shot a pig, and a pig ate a potato. That means
I don't know
war.
how you go about declaring war in your country.
Well, I'm guessing the same as everywhere else. You've got to do a declaration, and it's got to be like non-war crimes.
A DOW?
A prisoner of war?
I know of a guy who could write one of them up.
What? A DOW? I thought you said a POW. And I was like, what?
No, that's a prisoner of war. That's a different thing. A declaration of war.
Yeah, I also know a guy that can write one up. We're not going into that because it's been many years since we had to do that.
Yeah.
But just the fact it escalated into an official war. It does say in this, it escalated into a standoff, which means that the two armies must have both rolled up with their military stuff
to the border
over a pig.
And went, "Here you shoot that pig." He goes, "Yes, sir, I did." And they go, "Well,
go on, carry on.
Don't shoot the pig." And it's shoot the pig if you want to shoot the pig. And it's like, "Don't shoot the pig." we'll have to take up arms and go. No,
No, the pig's
we
already
shot the
been
pig.
shot.
Yeah, so we shot the pig. What are you going to do about it? And it's like, well, we'll write a strongly worded letter to your president, you rascals.
It wouldn't have been a strong.
That's
They
my
both would have
impression of it.
turned up with like their arms and stuff, wouldn't they? Their
Yeah,
guns, not
and
as in
then
their actual arms, but
the British would have given them a good stern frowning at, and then
we
they
would
went
have.
away.
Yeah, that's true. We would have just looked over at them in
So
disappointment.
that's why it escalated to a standoff and not a war. Because you just tutted at them and walked away.
No, I think what happened is both of them arrived at the front lines. So the Americans arrived and the British arrived, and they got to this farm, and they both looked around, and they were like, "So we're fighting over a pig? Really? Big? We're all gonna
That sounds
we're all gonna die? Like,
about the
thanks,
type
dickhead. You shot one pig, and now we've all got to die. So thanks for that. Cheers. Anyone want to avoid this war and should we just pretend like it didn't happen? Just come on, let's go home. You get a new pig. You get a new potato. Problem solved. I just can't fathom that a whole war over a pig.
Yeah, no.
That's mad. Right, do you want to say that fact again?
So it was the Pig War in 1859. A border dispute between the US and Britain on San Juan Island when an American farmer shot a British farmer's pig because the British farmer's pig was eating the American farmer's potatoes, and it escalated into a standoff between two military superpowers. But the only thing that actually died in the entire war was the pig.
I'm not sure the US were a military superpower at that point, but I don't know when they became an official
1859?
Isn't it Juan? Anyway, it's like Juan, isn't it? Because it's...
No, it's Juan. It's
Juan.
It's like a Spanish. Juan.
Well, that's what I was thinking. So, yeah, I suppose. Anyway.
Juan. San Juan Island. La la la.
Oh la la. I think we're going into something else.
That was
now.
sort of like Latin and French all together, Lance.
Right. I'm just looking at my list of what's going to be the best one. I'm going to leave one of them for you to see if you actually go for it or not. But we'll decide. We do have an entire list in front of us that we can pick from, just for anyone viewing. I'm going to go for the Lobster War, which lasted. This was a proper war. This wasn't one pig and his potato. This was a proper war that lasted 1661 to 1663. The 2 years.
I think it was 1961 to 1963.
1961 to 1963. Yeah. Sorry.
Because 1661 was quite a long time ago.
Different time completely, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is the Lobster War, 1961 to 1963. Brazil and France disputed whether lobsters were swimming and thus free game for French boats, or crawling on the Brazilian continental shelf, leading to a tense diplomatic and naval confrontation. It's a fucking lobster.
Yeah. I have never actually seen a lobster swimming.
I have, because I've been to the lobster sanctuary.
Yeah, but do they not just jump really far distances because they're less weight in the water? Do they actually swim? Like they do like a breaststroke and stuff?
Well, no, you are right. They do jump and they do go along like the bottom of the ocean. So at that point, they will be crawling. But I think if they're in the ocean, then that would be classed as swimming. But the minute they arrive on the beach...
What about sea snails? Sea snails don't swim.
What?
Sea snails.
Sea snails? No, they just suck onto things, don't they? Just like your mum.
Yeah, so they don't swim. They're in the ocean.
I don't know, they do swim. But I get what you mean. Like, do they crawl around at the bottom of the ocean?
I think this is why there was a tense naval confrontation.
For a fucking lobster. But if I was a lobster, I'd be sitting there on the beach. I'd wait for the French to look at me. And I'd go, ah. And then when the Brazilians look at me, I'd go into the water and go, ah. Which one is it? Just keep jumping between the two. Just going, war, no war, war, no war. Like, that lobster held all the power there, didn't it?
Yep.
I mean, I wonder if it's got like its 10-meter swimming badge. In fact, let's Google this. Because Google knows all. Do lobsters swim? Do they swim backwards? Yes, lobsters can swim, primarily moving backwards at high speeds to escape danger by rapidly curling and uncurling their tails. While they typically crawl along the seafloor, they are capable of swimming forward using their swimmerets or pleopods to navigate obstacles, travel long distances, or migrate. So yes, lobsters can swim. And they can swim backwards. Who knew? I can't swim backwards. Can you swim
Yeah.
backwards?
Well, no fish can swim backwards either.
Yeah, because they've got the swim block. I don't know. I reckon if you like put a pump in the water and just put the fish into where the pump's blowing out, and then it'd go backwards, wouldn't it?
It's not. If you drag a fish backwards through water, it drowns.
Well, I know that if the fish is upside down, it's dead.
Yeah. And if it's floating on the top of the water, that's also dead.
It's not completely dead. If it's upside down, it just means its swim bladder's not working.
Yeah, but if you pull the fish backwards, its gills fill with water, too much water, and it drowns.
Lovely. So I can't swim backwards. So that's pretty impressive from the lobster already.
I can't swim backwards.
So do you reckon
the lobster do the backstroke? Does that count as swimming backwards? No, because
you're not swimming backwards because you're still going the direction you're facing, essentially.
Well, not really, because you're facing up.
That's true. So yeah, would it be backwards? No, because it'd be a different direction.
Technically, when you're swimming upwards because you're going towards the top of your head.
Yeah, and then so you're still swimming upwards, even horizontally upwards. That's a weird thing to get your head around, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, you're going horizontally upwards, right? Okay. So you're not swimming backwards, even though it's called the backstroke. That's because you're lying on your back. So these lobsters, again, though, I would be because now we know that they can swim. I'd crawl to just where the shore is, and I'd crawl a little bit and go and then I'd jump in the water, swim a little bit, and go jump back into the sea, jump back into the sand, and go Because no one would have a fucking clue what's going on, would there? That'd be it. And the fact that it's a naval confrontation, which means the fishing boats, either they've caught the fish or the lobsters, and then the Navy saw this and went, what the fuck is going on here? Put them back, and the fishing boats are like, no, I'm not putting them back. And they go, put them back, or we're going to fire this 33 mil on you. And then it escalated from there.
These lobsters are swimming at the time when we caught them?
Say that again.
I said they claimed that the lobsters were swimming at the time. It's like, no, they weren't walking, they were swimming.
Maybe they claimed they could swim, and then the Brazilian people, they said, can you prove a lobster can swim? Because they didn't have Google in them days.
No, they didn't. So
all the lobsters just sank to the bottom and went, stop, are we swimming? I can't be asked for that.
Fuck you, it's lunchtime.
Just one random French guy just blowing on a lobster. Swim, you little bastard, swim. Swim, damn it.
Everyone, here, boy.
The lobster's going, fuck you. Just on his way off. Right, that was the Lobster War from 1961 to 1963, where Brazil and France disputed whether lobsters were swimming at the free game for French boats or crawling on the Brazilian continental shelf, leading to a tense diplomatic and naval confrontation. Means that must have had to have gone to Parliament or whoever their presidency was at that point as well, for diplomatic confrontation. A peacemaker would have had to have turned up and over a lobster. Anyway, go on, Spooky, you crack on with
bloody French. Okay, I'm going to go, keeping on the French theme, I'm going to go with the pastry war.
Are you going with the pastry? Okay.
Yeah. Did you know, Lawrence, in 1838, France invaded Mexico after a French pastry chef claimed Mexican officers wrecked his bakery and refused to pay. Mexico's failure to compensate for the damages led to military intervention.
That is the best consumer rights ever, isn't it?
Yeah. So you wrecked your shop, led to war.
So, to sum this up, a French pastry chef
who was obviously living somewhere near the Mexican border, not in France.
I think it might. I don't know. Yeah, I can understand. Yeah,
Because
okay.
why would the Mexicans come to
This is what I was
France, wreck
wondering.
the guy's shop, and then they assembled a fleet of sailing vessels to
Because
go
this
over
was
to Mexico to
1838.
invade them?
It was
Yeah.
1838. I'm not sure
Yeah,
the
so it was
French.
probably no, it was because like the French would have been all around like New Orleans and all at the time, because that's like a real French part of America. That's where they settled
Well, that's
first.
why I was wondering, like Canada and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like the New Orleans and all, and in the bio and all, that's all like French speaking in New Orleans.
I'm just looking at where it was actually caused. Okay, there's a naval blockade involved in this.
Yeah,
That's mad. Um, I'm
of
looking at where
sailing
the
boats.
actual pastry shop was. Where was the? Because I want to know why. Where was the pastry shop from the? What was it? 1838 was it?
Yeah,
38 Mexican France war. That's again though. This is just so stupid. Right, it was on the outskirts of Mexico City in Tacubaya.
yeah,
Okay, so that French chef must have moved to there to have his business or
yeah,
whatever near Mexico, which means at that point
yeah,
he's under Mexican jurisdiction because that's where he's living, so he'd have to abide by
yeah.
Mexican laws. So then the police came into his shop, or the military, they came into his shop and trashed it basically because it's 1838.
Hmm.
Who gives a shit? And then
Yeah.
instead of going to the local Mexican authorities, he must have gone to the French authorities and said, "This guy is just come into my shop and wrecked it." And France, instead of going for you chose to piss off to Mexico, went, "Right, war it is. Naval blockade,
Yeah.
set that up. Let's sort this shit out." Just,
And it actually was. The French forces were sent from France. They weren't
yeah, yeah.
involved in like.
That's what I mean. Instead of just saying, "Well, you pissed off to Mexico,"
And
they went.
yeah, it says here Donald Trump was responsible for the peace treaty.
Yeah,
That's number 9, guys. Number 9.
he brokered peace, didn't he? And
Yeah,
he,
that pastry war would still be going on if it wasn't for Donald.
was this after he dressed up as a Mexican and poked a French guy in the face? Uh, oh God. Anyway, yeah, it's just that's beyond me that he's gone all the way to Mexico and the French have still gone. We're going to sort this out now, and they actually put a
and it
full
was
naval blockade, as if the
and it was the
Mexicans were
first of
sailing the world.
it was the first of 2 French invasions of Mexico. A second larger intervention took place in the 1860s.
Oh,
The more you know.
and they failed at both.
No, the French won both.
Well, they didn't win both because it's still Mexico.
They didn't exactly go there to invade and take over the place.
But they must
They
have
went there to
done.
get the dude's money back.
Did they get the money back?
Probably.
I think they
It
would have
said in
caused a.
Wikipedia that he won it.
So you're telling me this shop, which in 1838 probably cost like a few $100 or pesos, is it pesos in Mexico? Yeah, peso.
Yeah, let's
Right.
say, yeah.
So the Mexican offered leading to 60,000 peso reparation demand. So that's not how
Yeah.
much its shop cost. That's how much the geezer demanded for damages.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pesos in 1938.
Yeah,
1838.
but then, but then as well, they probably took like loads of euros as well because the cost of the French fleet set and so.
Well, this is what I'm getting at. This geezer has claimed 60,000 in damages. Let's just say
Yeah.
60,000. The French would have had to have sent all their boats, paid their entire army
And
to
they're
go over to Mexico,
soldiers.
which is a long way away,
Yep.
by the way. It's not a short sail, and it's a very. Don't forget, we didn't have engines at that point. It would have been sailing boats.
Yeah. So it'd be like a 3-week trip, I'm gonna say.
I'm going to say more than that, even. How long does it take to sail from France to Mexico?
In the 1800s.
In, well, I was going to
No,
put
you have
by
to be
sails, but yeah,
specific
sure.
because modern sailing boats would move a hell of a lot faster through the water than something from the
So,
1800s.
what did you say about 3 weeks?
Yeah.
And I said I think a bit more than that.
Yeah.
So just remember, at this point, France is having to pay this military to go to Mexico. Every single
Mhm.
soldier there must have wanted paying because that's the thing, and they've got to travel back. They've got to go home after
Yep.
this as well. So it's a round trip journey. This is over 60,000 pesos of damages. Okay, in the
Mhm.
early to mid 1800s, sailing from France to Mexico took 6 to 10 weeks. From
I knew it.
40 to 70 days. So up to 20 weeks to
Jesus.
do the round trip. Plus the time that they were sitting there for 60,000. Jesus Christ. I think that guy, his 60,000 would have been a very small amount compared to the amount that it would have actually cost them to do
Yeah,
that. That was a
for
bad,
sure.
that was a bad business venture, wasn't it?
Yep.
That is mad. By the 1840s, steamships began to reduce travel time as well. Before anyone says about steam boats, because I know we did have them mid 18th,
Yeah, but you
but the
wouldn't have had
military
like
wouldn't have adapted that yet.
yeah, you wouldn't have a huge amount of
No.
military steamboats. You would have had like short range
Like,
steamboats for
one or two
military.
might have turned up
Yeah.
if you were lucky, and even then, that would have cost more for them to go over. It's just so ridiculous. Over a smashed. I bet the bakery shop wasn't even. I bet they broke like one chair, and the geezer's like, "You've destroyed the shop."
Yeah.
You know,
Probably
like
didn't even. They probably like crushed a croissant.
crushed a single croissant. But you know, like when you was a kid and like you drop some on the bedroom floor, and your mum would be like, "You
Yeah.
need to tidy your room up now. You've destroyed the whole room. Look at it; it's a complete pigsty." And
It's a mess.
you just pick up the one object, and it was back to how it was. I bet
Yeah.
it was like that inside the shop. Just one thing
It's like
needed
it's not
moving.
a mess. There's a Lego minifigure on the floor.
I know, yeah. That's anyway. Yeah. Say that
Craziness,
fact
Lance.
again, Walker.
Craziness. In 1838, there was a war called the Pastry War between France and Mexico. It happened because a French pastry chef living and working in Mexico at the time got his shop wrecked by Mexican officers, and he sent a complaint to King Philippe II, and he sent a military force to Mexico and invaded them,
Yeah.
blocked their ports until they paid him back.
For fuck's sake. If aliens ever invade us and go, "Oh, you guys go to war over anything," and we
Yeah,
go,
it's like,
"Nah, we
nope,
don't,"
I'm out.
they're just going to bring up this list. Just go,
Yeah.
"What's this about a bakery and a pig?" Uh, there's one here about a dog.
Yes, once went to war about a petty pan. Jesus Christ, lads.
You went to war where the lobsters can swim or crawl. They can do both, you thick shits. Okay, Jesus Christ. Right. Anyway, moving on from there. So,
Moving on.
moving on. This is well, not moving on. Doing my last fact. The War of
Yeah,
Jenkins' Ear.
I knew you were going to do this one.
It was either that or the Honey War.
Yeah, no, I knew
Which,
you were going to do the Jenkins ear one. That's why I didn't do it.
well, I was thinking you was going to do the Emu War from Australia.
Yeah, it's
Remember what
not.
we
It's
just
not.
said,
It's
guys?
not
That
great.
remember what we just said that there's been so many stupid wars. They
Yeah.
were just the Emu War was basically Australia lost the war against the emus because
Yeah.
they were too
They sent
evasive
an
from them.
army after the emus, and there was
Yeah,
more soldiers died than emus,
yeah, which is
and they had to retreat.
yeah, from the emus. But to be fair, they're big birds. Emus can kick the shit out of
I
you. So
don't
fair
care.
play
They
to the
had
emus. I
guns.
mean, it's anyway. But yeah, so this is the War of Jenkins' Ear from 1739 to 1748.
Yeah.
Um, and so this lasted longer than World War Two. Uh, right. So this is British captain. So British because I wanted to do one about Britain, so we're not
Yeah.
being
That's why I
yeah.
decided that you'd do this.
I like to keep it fair. I'm British, so I'll do a
Yeah.
British one because we're not British. Britain. Hi,
Yeah.
stroke. Welcome back. Good to see you again, old friend.
Somebody call the emergency services.
Because Britain isn't clean of the blood. We also did some stupid ass stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, so British
Like,
Captain
invaded
Robert
my country.
Jenkins presented his severed ear to Parliament, claiming Spanish coast guards cut it off 7 years prior. The incident was used as a pretext for war between Britain and Spain, which lasted quite a long time, actually. So this geezer,
Yeah, so did the ear.
but this is what I was about to say. This geezer got his ear cut off. Just casually cut off by the Spanish allegedly, um, and then waited 7 years.
Yeah,
Just his ear,
in his pocket.
just there, just cooked in dust, on the shelf. Didn't put it in any preservatives or anything. Just literally just
No.
hanging out. Occasionally he went to a bar, whipped it out of his pocket, and went, "Look, party trick, lads, party trick.
Ear.
I'm keeping my ear on you." Anyway, and he waited 7 years. Then he rocked up to Parliament, and someone went to him, Are you missing an ear there? Where's your ear?" And he just pulled it out of his pocket and went, "Oh yeah, Spanish cut it off 7 years ago."
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but remember, this was a pretext for war. The War of Britain and Spain was a long thing. It went on for a
Yeah,
very long time, with the
few
whole Spanish
centuries.
Armada and all that
Two of
sort of
them.
stuff.
The British Armada that also failed. I mean, the two years weren't even
Isn't
really
it me
great
that
at
told you that
sailing.
fact?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. The 2 years weren't great at sailing. Like, where is?
For anyone with the Spanish Armada invaded England, we know that, and they didn't make it to England because all their ships sailed. What we don't really mention, and I think we should mention it more, especially in schools and stuff, is Britain then actually sailed an armada towards Spain, and exactly the same thing happened in pretty much the same place that all the British ships also sank. It was two
I
fails.
thought the I
Oh, go
thought
on.
the British ships went off the coast of France. Did they not?
I'm using like a broad spectrum. We got into
Yeah,
those waters, and then they all just went to
because
shit.
the Spanish Armada pretty much failed off the coast of Ireland.
I'm not sure how far the Spanish Armada. No, didn't the Spanish try to go around Scotland before they
They
realised they
tried
were
to
pretty
come
much.
up. They tried to come up the west coast of Ireland, go around the top of Ireland, and invade England from that side. But there was really rough seas off the coast of Ireland. Because if you go scuba diving and stuff, that like you can go scuba diving on Spanish galleon
I'm
wrecks
not
off the
sure.
coast of Ireland.
The Spanish Armada, they didn't reach Ireland. Who reached? They could be sighted from Cornwall. That is as far as they reached. They
Yeah,
went straight across
Cornwall is
the Anna.
further away from Spain than
Yep,
Ireland is.
yep. But it's Ireland's higher up. So if they came basically past France towards London, the capital, where they want to invade,
Yeah.
and instead carried on over to Cornwall at the other side of the country, and then sank. So not only did
You
they miss
see,
their landing,
it could have been a ploy though, because there'd be calmer waters on the east coast of England than there would be on the west coast of England. Probably, I don't know.
uh, yeah,
There really shouldn't be, because Ireland is in the way of the west coast of England, so you're not getting hit by the Atlantic or
I'm,
anything really.
I'm just looking. So they went to Calais, and then tried to use the English Channel. And a couple of their ships did reach Plymouth, where they encountered the entire English navy. The couple that were
Yeah,
left, why did they carry on? Like they just watched all of their fleet sink, and they went, "No, we can still take this country, lads. Me and these three other ships over here, we're gonna do this." Jesus, but yeah, and then the British also tried to go over to Spain, and we miserably failed as well, which is just incredible that we
now you
literally
see,
watched them all sink and went, "We'll have a go at that."
my my
We won't mind.
information, my information sort of contradicts your information.
Does it?
Because when I googled, did the Spanish Armada sink off the coast of Ireland? It says yes, a significant portion of the Spanish Armada was wrecked off the coast of Ireland in September and October 1588.
Uh,
I think there was two Spanish Armadas.
yeah, there
I
must have
think
been then.
they
I
tried
think,
twice.
yeah, they must have had like a secondary fleet because I'm only looking at the main fleet that went over, and they used the channel because I just don't understand why they didn't go to London. The capital where the
Yeah.
Queen lived at the time. Was the Queen, weren't it? I'm sure that was. Yeah, Queen Elizabeth. Yeah, I thought it was. But yeah, surely they'd go to London. They wouldn't bother swimming all the way round. Say swimming,
Yeah.
sailing all the well, swimming by the end of it, but sailing. But yeah, we did also go go back. But I've actually forgotten what the fact. Oh yeah, so the geezer's turned up 7 years later with his ear and just handed it over to
Yeah.
Parliament and said it was this Spanish. So I wonder what happened between 1748 and 1788. No, wait, it's a different century. How was it the precursor for the? So this Armada happened 300 years, 200 years before. Yeah, this Armada happened 200 years before this geezer's ear even got cut off. So we had another mini war
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, there's no Spanish influence on the UK at all. Funny that, isn't it? But
Yeah.
there's no Spanish towns over here. Probably even if the Spanish did manage to invade England, they would have saw our weather and gone, nah, I'm going home. Fuck that. Pissing it down here.
There
That's
was
probably what happened.
during the Anglo-Spanish War between 1585 and 1604. There was 4 Spanish armadas got wrecked by storms.
Jesus,
No,
just stop.
3 got wrecked. 3 got wrecked by storms. 1 armada landed in Ireland to try and get a foothold to invade England, and they were just beaten away.
You'd think you'd learn, wouldn't you, after
And
the first 3?
and that last one was in 1601, and weirdly enough, the war ended in 1604. So
because everyone's dead.
yeah, they had no boats left.
4 armadas. My God, just stop.
So there you go.
Even the Germans had the sense after the second one to go, nope, this is enough now, enough's enough. The Spanish just continued. They
So
did 4.
and then 200 years or 150 years later, then they had another war because Jenkins got his ear cut off.
Well, it was a precursor to it. So it's just like one of the things that escalated it. The other one was probably Jenkins' toe,
like
Jenkins' little finger.
this was another war. Like the Spanish armadas and everything happened at the end of the 1500s.
Yeah, 1500s. The other war was in the 1700s.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Later on, the 200 odd years later, Jenkins' ear was a precursor. So it's one of the things that triggered it. That's what I'm saying. The rest of it must have been like Jenkins' little toe, Jenkins' little finger. He was just handing over body parts and just.
The British must really had a hard on for going after the Spanish, though. Really, hadn't they?
We never actually went after the Spanish, though. If you think about it, they came after us.
You sort of did, and you used Jenkins' ear as one of the excuses.
I don't think we started that war of Spain in this. Right, I'm gonna have to Google.
Who started the war between England and Spain in 1739?
Jeez, why don't you Google this as well?
Because there's no point in us both Googling the same thing.
Right. Okay, makes no sense. Right, the major 18th century wars between England/Great Britain and Spain were primarily initiated by trade disputes, colonial rivalry, and succession crisis than a single person. Key conflicts included the War of the Spanish Succession in 1701 to 1714, sparked by King Charles II of Spain's death and the rise of Philip V, and the War on Jenkins' ear. It's because of trade restrictions, and no one actually started it.
Yeah, it wasn't like an official war. It was just called a war.
It was a big war. Like, it went all the way to the Caribbean.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It was only like it wasn't a proper like in the 1700s where you had a battlefield with armies on it going to war. It was more like little skirmishes and boat fights and stuff.
Here's a question for you: how many Spanish islands are in the UK?
I don't know, Lons.
There's one in France, which is like near the equator somewhere, which makes no sense at all. But there's one in France, but that's a Spanish island. No, that's a French island, isn't it? It used to be Spanish. But anyway, yeah. So there's no how many UK islands are in Spain?
One.
Gibraltar.
Yeah.
And Gibraltar
that's
was
more
one of the places
rock.
that the Spanish tried to take Gibraltar back and failed.
Yeah.
So yeah, we never actually went after the Spanish. We was trying to figure out trade routes, but we weren't happy with it, and it just sort of escalated from there. And then the Spanish
took
went
Gibraltar. He took Gibraltar originally to secure the Mediterranean trade routes, I think.
Yeah, that one probably is a thing. But we never actually went after the Spanish.
I remember doing a thing in history about the
Yeah,
Rock of Gibraltar.
I think both of us are just as bad as each other. The Spanish, I told you about this before. The Spanish then formed an alliance with France, Austria, and the Dutch
Yeah,
to go against England. Because remember I said to you and Savo that the English have had a war with the Dutch before, and I think it was part of this war. But anyway, yeah, so that was the story of Jenkins' ear. This is the British captain Robert Jenkins presented his severed ear to Parliament, claiming Spanish coast guards cut it off 7 years prior. No one can clarify this fact. No one can verify it. Just to point that out, he could have lost it in a pub fight for all we know.
He could have. He could have lost it anywhere.
Make sure you've moved your analog stick, by the way, Sparker. He could
have
lost it anywhere. I bet
for the last few minutes, I haven't been looking at the screen. I've just had my hand on the analog stick. It's just spinning around in circles.
So for all we know, he used it to pay off a prostitute, considering the year this happened.
Yeah.
Or the prostitute's very common those days.
Or the prostitute's pimp cut off his ear for not paying the prostitute.
There you go. Yep. What? And give it him back?
No, well, he probably didn't fucking keep the ear. He probably just let it fall on the ground. He's not the predator.
Just at least dispose of it. Right, moving on from there, Sporko. We're going to do one fact each about the most stupid ass wars. So we're going to do one fact.
But these aren't about the stupid wars. These are just stupid things that happen in war.
Not about stupid. It's just stupid fact from any war in history. Just a fact that's happened. But go on.
Yep. In 1942, Lance, a dentist proposed strapping tiny bombs onto bats to drop over Japan.
Go for this one.
Yeah. Jesus.
Go on. Crack on.
It happened in 1942. That's in living memory of lots of people around at the moment. That somebody decided, we're going to put bombs on bats. But they actually blew up their own little warehouse thing that they were doing it in. So.
Yeah, just to clarify, it was the Americans' experiment. They intended to burn down Japanese cities with them because, there's all those bats that can fly from the US to Japan.
Yeah.
And it was a US hangar that burnt down.
Sounds about right.
That's when you remember we spoke about it the other week with the guy that put the lava lamp on his cooker?
Yeah, he was that guy. He later trained as a dentist.
But he was making lava bombs. These guys are making bat bombs. That's mad.
Bat bomb.
I like the way they've called it a failed experiment as well. I think it is a failed experiment, yeah.
Really? Do you reckon?
When you burn down the facility that you use to research it.
Was it a failed experiment, or was it just a successful experiment just in the wrong place?
Yeah, that's true. They did burn down their own hangar.
They did strap. The parameters of the test was that they had to strap bombs to the bats and let them drop.
What do you reckon? They just kept hold of them.
So they did strap the bombs to the bats. The bats, however, said, "I'm not going to fucking Japan. I don't even speak Japanese. I don't like sushi.
How far that is."
They've got swords that could chop us in half. No, we're going up to these rafters up here and we're dropping the bombs on these fuckers.
I don't know, because bats primarily fly at night anyway. Bombs tend to
so they wouldn't be seen.
Bombs tend to have flashing things on them.
I don't think they did back in 1942, Lance.
I'm sure, yeah, because LEDs and stuff weren't around.
Yeah, it's health and safety now that they have to have a warning light on them.
They have to have a warning may detonate. It's only Japan is located approximately 4,800 or 4,800 to 6,000 miles, which for anyone on the wrong system is 7,700 to 9,600 kilometers from the US.
That's
like a ocean to ocean, away. And they want bats to fly that far.
That's a long way.
That must have been a big ass fuse on that bomb.
In one go, because the last time I checked, there wasn't so many islands between the two either.
That's true as well. Yeah, there is mini islands, but actually saying that because
I know there's Hawaii.
Yeah, but weren't they present in like China and stuff, the US in those times?
I don't know. I'm not
And
actually familiar with that side of World War Two.
no, I mean, weren't the US present in like surrounding to Japan? Because they, I'm sure they've got like an
That's
island near
what I mean.
Vietnam or something.
I'm not too sure about their presence, like in because I don't know about that part of World War Two. Like I
I'm
know
just
about the
gonna
European part of the conflict, but I don't really know much about the American and
uh,
Eastern
across the
part of it.
Pacific. I'm just having a look to see if there's any. Yeah, so they had the Wake Island. I know Japan had the Philippines, so that would have put US really far back. Um, yeah, I think they would have had to have done the entire journey in one go. That's just, and that don't bombs tend to have a timer? How would they detonate them?
Proximity sensors or something.
Yeah, because bats tend to just fly into the ground at high speed and smash off the floor. Forget about landing casually. They fully go straight down, don't they? It just
Yeah.
the whole thing just doesn't make sense to me. But go on, what was that fact, Spoker?
In
He's already
1942.
lost it. Go on.
I was looking on Google. In 1942, a dentist proposed dropping tiny bombs to bats to drop over Japan. And they'd done some research into this in a hangar. The hangar burnt down because obviously the bats weren't going to fly to Japan.
Cool. Makes perfect. You know what? Strategically, brilliant idea.
Yep.
Practically, not so much.
Yeah,
um,
not so good.
yeah. Couple of kinks to work out there, I think.
Yep.
Right. So my fact is during World War Two again. So in 1943, the US are on a streak here. Uh,
Yeah.
35,000 US and Canadian troops. Just bear in mind that Canadian is a Commonwealth. Canada is a Commonwealth country,
Canada,
and it does their king,
Canada.
same as Australia. Their king is the King of England.
Yeah.
It's the same guy that essentially the monarch over them all. So
Yeah,
Canada.
we all know lounges are great. Get on with the story.
No, I'm just saying that Canada. I'm gonna put it as I don't know if it'd be French Canada or English Canada, but it'd be part of the British Empire as well. Anyway, yeah. So U.S. and Canadian troops invaded the island of Kiska in the Aleutian Islands. They bombarded the island heavily. So they're using
Ooh.
35,000 of them, remember, using their weapons, bombardment, so they use bombs and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. That's
So,
generally what bombardment
yeah,
means.
they invaded it heavily, only to discover the Japanese had left weeks ago due to the thick fog and confusion. Friendly fire incidents resulted in over 100 casualties, so there was no Japanese people on this island, and they
No,
bombed the shit out of it. Everyone had already left, and they ended up killing 100 of their own soldiers.
sounds about right.
They killed 100 of their own soldiers because of the fog that they created.
What fucking idiots. The
It's just
Americans. Like, what's going on?
you couldn't
What's going
write
on
it,
with
could
you
you?
guys?
You just couldn't write that.
Do we have any Americans watching at the moment? Do you just want to
I just
care to try and explain yourselves at all?
yeah, that's well, Canada as well, and I love Canada. I think it's an amazing place. I think the US is an absolutely amazing place.
Yeah, but they
Just
were
shows about
probably
their
they're
leadership.
probably just like gullible little like followers. They just done what they were told or something at that point. They were fooled into it.
It's just the fact that they, there's that saying that about how America tends to friendly fire with
Yeah.
Americans and stuff like that. I think that's kind of proving the point there, isn't it?
Yeah, not a saying, though. It's sort of a fact.
So, yeah. So they got there. They all looked around and went, "There's no Japanese here." They hadn't been Japanese there for weeks, so that there wouldn't have been like a warm fire lit nearby or something to signify their presence, and they still
No.
managed to kill over 100 people.
Yeah, that's sounds about right.
Did you just start spraying bullets around just in the hope you might hit someone? I can't.
Or was it like health? This is where health and safety came. Like it's like
People standing on
you
their
know,
guns.
yeah.
using the guns to get the items off the top shelves. Just,
Or they stood
oh,
on a
there goes Sharon.
nail or something.
I can't work out how they. It's an island. I know that there'll be fog because of all the bombings and stuff. There's going to be
Yeah.
fog over there, and they all would have ran in. But
And it was islands as well, so like they get fog.
yeah, yeah. And as they all ran in, realised there was no one there. Well, they must have killed them before they realised there was nobody there. So there's 100 bodies on the floor, and they're going, "Who did that? Come on, guys, own up to it. Who was it? Geezer's gun's still smoking. Who was it? Come on." I just can't. Oh, it's so stupid. Anyway, yeah, so that was the fact that in 1943, 35,000 US and Canadian troops invaded the island of Kiska in the Aleutian Island. They bombarded the island heavily, only to discover Japanese had left weeks earlier. Due to the thick fog and confusion, friendly fire incidents resulted in over 100 casualties. Right, shall we move on to tech news, Sporker?
Yes, we should, Lance.
So
Yes, we should.
this is the segment where we look at the tech news over the last week. Anything that's really stood out to us that we think is worth sharing. Spooker, I will let you start us off.
Okay, so according to the BBC News, OpenAI changes their deal with the US military after backlash. So
Yep.
basically, OpenAI says it has agreed changes to opportunistic and sloppy deal it struck with the US government over the use of its technology in classified military operations. So there you go.
And what else? There's a lot more
What do
to
you
this
know?
story. I can tell you've only briefly read over the first few
Yeah, yeah,
paragraphs.
yeah, yeah. I'm catching up here the same as everybody else.
So basically, what's happened is the AI was being used by the military to spy on American people as well as war applications. So they could have
Yeah,
used the AI in drones and stuff to spy or to use it for surveillance and all that sort of stuff. Which is that was part of the initial deal, the going taking the drones over and using the AI to power the software that's going to fly the drones and all that sort of stuff. Then
yeah,
they started using it to spy on the military in the US. Started using it to spy on the American citizens, which is against what's it called? Their not the
Constitution.
amendment. Yeah, it's against their constitution. They've got the Freedom of Information Act. You're not allowed to spy on American citizens anywhere in the world. The questions that I have about this is it says OpenAI will OpenAI will change it so you can't spy on an American citizen. What
Yeah.
about the rest of us?
Oh no, they're spying the rest of us.
Yeah,
They always
but
have.
believe it or not, America is not the only country in the world.
Oh,
Like,
they are, yeah.
there are people out there that aren't American citizens.
No, no, they're all Americans.
Yeah. Just to point out as well that the I can't say the word anthropic. Is that right? Yeah.
Anthropomorphic?
And no, the follow anthropic is another OpenAI model, by the way. It's
Yeah.
yeah. So they refused a lot of what Donald Trump had recently said, and it's this whole debate and stuff of what's going on, especially at the moment, how it was being
Mm-hmm.
used. So, and the Ukraine, we've sent a lot of OpenAI source software over to the Ukraine to help them, and it's a big global thing at the moment. But it's about people's privacy and how America's used. If they can spy on their own citizens, like quite covertly, because a lot of
Yeah.
people probably haven't ever heard of this story. Don't forget the CIA have been running surveillance for a long time globally, and we
Yeah.
by all means,
And on American
I've got no
citizens.
issues with that if you're using it to track, say, international terrorists, arms dealers, all that sort of stuff. But go ahead. Same as when everyone was kicking a fuss in the airport because you were getting your fluids checked and all that sort of stuff, like what's in your water. I've got no problem with that because I would much rather someone searched me going into the airport than allowing everybody to get on and then my plane goes kaboom. I'm happy to take that 10 seconds to be searched, which every time I've gone through the airport, I have been searched
Yeah.
because I've got weird scar tissue on my side and it sets off the machine. But,
And also, you generally, us, well, me as a former diabetic and you as a current diabetic, you used to carry needles with you as well. So,
yeah. You know what? I went through this actually, and I got really annoyed because I had to get a special doctor's note, which means I
yeah.
had to go through the diabetes people at the
Hmm.
where I was at the time, and that took like a few weeks to get it, and I had to go through all these channels to get the stuff to say yes, I'm allowed this insulin or whatever. I had to get insurance
Yeah.
for the insulin while I was on holiday and stuff,
Yeah.
because if it breaks, I'm pretty much dead. And I got to the airport, put it in my little clear bag, read through all the instructions that I needed to do and all that sort of stuff, put it in my clear bag with my notes. The geezer didn't even check it. I
Yeah, no, the only
literally,
time I've ever been checked was once when I was on my way home from Manchester one time, and it was about 4 or 5 months after 9/11.
see, now that I can understand,
Yeah,
but
that's the only time I've ever been on. Like I used to go away like all the time, like with my medication, and I
I'm
was
just
never
thinking,
checked. I
if
was never
that's the
even
case,
asked about it. I wasn't even asked what was in the bag. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I've just carried needles and all sorts onto that plane. No one's batting an eyelid. Like, nah, he's just an addict. Let him on, he's fine. No worries. But yeah, so this is why it's a massive story at the moment, because they're changing their basically they're changing their agreement in order to stop them from spying on
yeah,
American citizens. But that does make the world think. So what about the rest of us? Does that mean Americans are going to be spying on everyone else? So don't forget, America has a lot of companies worldwide. Most of
yes, they do.
a lot of the healthcare that you receive and I receive is partially owned by American companies. The Spire Hospital, Acadia Hospitals, the Priory Hospital, it's all owned by Americans. And I know that America has a massive shareholder stake in American currency, and basically the UK could bankrupt America if they really wanted to, and but it would cause a
Uh
whole
huh.
global thing. But yeah, it's just America is everywhere. If they wanted to spy on someone, they definitely could. And with the use of OpenAI, it's easier than ever. So where's the security for the rest of us? Where's the confirmation that we're not going to get our private details leaked to an American company?
Because that was never in the agreement.
Exactly. This is what I mean. That
Yeah, so like you know that the Americans have always spied on everybody. So
we just accept it at this point. Yeah,
yeah.
fuck it.
Well, in fairness, the British spy on everybody as well, and the Russians spy on everybody as well. Like,
So we're all spying on each other. So why don't we all just come out with it and go, well,
yeah,
this is the information. Everyone's already got it. You might as well have it at this point. You are right. There is a lot of covert spying going on. The dark web is your information's everywhere. There's going to be stuff about PBTC on the dark web somewhere, but
like I
good luck,
mean,
good luck
James
finding the
Bond, he was
passwords
a
to that shit,
spy.
because I don't know the passwords to it. So if anyone on the dark web
if I,
gets hold of our passwords, can you let me
well,
know, please?
let us know. Thanks very much.
I'd really like to be able to get those accounts back. Anyway, yeah, let's move on. Do you want to just say what that story was?
So OpenAI changes its deal with the U.S. military to stop them from spying on American citizens, basically.
Cool. Not worrying
Yeah.
at all.
No.
Right, so the next story that we've got, and I think is going to be the last story. Yeah, looking at time, it's going to be the last story. So, talking of spying, Sporker. So, in the UK at
Oh,
the
we're
moment,
doing that
in
one.
the UK, I have a regulator for the watchdog of data, the
Yep.
data watchdog, is
Woof.
contacted Meta over workers watching intimate AI glasses videos. Right, that sentence needs correcting. Regulator contacts Meta AI. Regulator contacts Meta over workers watching intimate AI glasses videos. That's not a sentence. This is on the. If anyone wants to check this, this is on the BBC news website, by the way. So it's the two S's that are getting me in glasses and then
The UK
videos.
data watchdog is writing to Meta following a concerning report claiming outsourced workers were able to view sensitive content filmed by the company's AI smart glasses.
So what's happened here is people have bought Meta glasses, which Meta have
Yep.
copied Google. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be some sort of fight there at some point. But yeah, so Meta have got their open source their AI glasses, and they've got little cameras on them because that's what views the world. So if you look at, say, your TV, you can say, "What is this?" and the glasses will tell you what the TV is, how much it is, where to buy it, and give you an advert for a game that's completely
Yep.
irrelevant to anything you've ever looked at in your life. And the
Hmm.
problem with it is it's recording what you're watching, like what you can see through those glasses, including what Sporker mentioned earlier before we started this podcast: intimate time with your loved ones. Because even if you're not wearing your glasses during that time, you might put them on the
They
side.
could be on your side table.
Yeah, and it's recording what it can see. And what's happened is Meta Glass. I'm going to call it Meta Glass because it's not Google Glass. It's
Yeah.
Meta Glass. They outsourced some stuff to. I'm just looking down the article because I didn't look at it earlier. But they outsourced. Bear with me. But they're with Ray-Ban and Oakley, but that's fine. Where was it now? I'm just trying to find that random little corporation.
It's called. No, that's the people who are investigating it.
Right, it's Nairobi. So they were employed by a Nairobi-based outsourcing company called Sama, which has a history of work in data annotation. So yeah, they outsourced the. What they do is they get all of your information and they pull it all together so they can improve, in inverted commas, their product using what you're looking at, what you see. Same as the way cookies work on your computer. It's about gathering all that information and bringing it all into one nice and tidy little package. So they outsourced it to a Nairobi company, and then that company in Nairobi were using it to watch people on the toilet, to do all sorts of things, which isn't great. Again, in terms of that whole spying thing and like your
No, it's
privacy.
not. It's not great.
Because just
Yeah.
having a look, in one instance, a worker told the newspapers a man's glasses were left recording in a bedroom where they later filmed a woman, apparently the man's wife, undressing. I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Even
sure
more
they filmed a
embarrassing if it
lot more than that.
wasn't his wife.
Yeah, that's not great. That's quite a. I personally, I really like the idea of the Google Glass and stuff like that. I think it's a really good step towards the future.
Yeah.
Same
Bet
as
you're not going to bring them to your bedroom though.
no, well, the only thing they're going to see is me breathing heavily and my right arm getting bigger. So
Super
I have a
arm.
wife, believe it or not, Mary. But
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah.
I do think again there needs to be regulation behind it because that's just you don't want your privacy infringed on at the same time.
No.
You can have Google Glass experiments. I don't know if they've moved it forward, but you can have directions in your glasses. So if you're driving
Yeah,
somewhere,
all that
rather
type of
than
stuff would be pretty cool.
yeah, you can have a sat nav in your glasses and it can tell you where you're going with arrows and all that. They did experiments with it. I don't know how far along the line that is and stuff. Same as you can be talking to someone, and you go, oh, what's that song? And then you can ask your glasses and it'll tell you what the lyrics are and all that sort of stuff. And it's not like right in your face, it's very light text so you can see through it and it doesn't really get in the way. And it's really good idea. It's I've just remembered I need to order something from Amazon and you can ask your glasses to do it and confirm it and all that sort of stuff wherever you are. I know your phone can do all that as well, but it's just handy to
Yeah.
have on your face as something. Like me, I wear glasses. We've both just done exactly right. Like me, I wear glasses all the time. I wouldn't want people recording things that I'm
No,
doing
no.
because if I'm editing a video, let's say someone, well, you're in for a very boring time if you watch me spend 7 hours recording this podcast, but it's. I don't like the idea that a random company in Nairobi that can also sell all your data on to, again, the dark web has that information because I guarantee that lady that's been filmed undressing, she's going to end up on certain websites
Yep.
because
But if you want to look at them, you'll need to be age verified.
do I want to look at what now?
If you want to look at them, you'll need to be age verified.
That's true. I'm in the UK, yeah. I forgot about that, to be honest. Well, no, because people in the UK have learnt about VPNs. You
Have
know, our
they though?
sales for VPNs went up like 500%.
Yeah.
Just to point that out. We're not that stupid. Anyway, so yeah, that was the story. Well, could you say the title of the story? Because that double S at the end is just really confusing me. It's making my brain
Okay.
go.
The regulator contacts Meta over workers watching intimate AI glasses videos.
There we go. Right, so that was the story, and it was written by Chris Valance, who's the senior technology reporter for BBC. If anyone wants to go check that one out. Right, I believe that's all we've got time for, Sporker, because that's our hour up. So,
Yay!
thank you very much for watching. For everyone that has been watching, will watch, can watch, and possibly watch. Remember to check out our other channels. So we've got the Facebook, the Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, Discord at discord.gg/TGS39DNUB3. You can get all the links in any of our short videos or long form videos. We've got YouTube. You can also listen to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. And you can also donate to us at streamlabs.com/press back to continue 3/tip. I've been Lonesism. I hope you enjoy whatever you're doing at this present time.
Good night, everybody. I've been Sporka, or good day, or good morning. Who knows?